Good evening and welcome to the Lebanon Redevelopment Commission meeting for Monday, June 10th, 2019. We will call this meeting to order and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Sierra?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the roll call. Please let the meeting minutes show that all are here minus Jason. And then the next item is the approval of the previous meeting minutes. Did everybody receive those?
Did.
I will entertain a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
I make a motion, we approve. Date is, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Been
With me.
May, the end of the May,
Yes,
May
the
meeting.
May meeting minutes.
May 13th.
May 13th.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None? Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is old business. Seeing none, are there any other comments from the commissioners before we move on to new business? All right, next item is the new business. We're going to kind of switch A and B for the commissioners to know what I'm talking about here, but the first item is Resolution 2019-02. It is the excess AV TIF increment determination. Commissioners, please acknowledge that you've received written communication about this information before.
I've received it.
I
Okay.
received it.
Got it. And we do need a reading of it tonight, so we will have to pass it before June 15th. So we need to consider for it to be passed tonight. Go ahead.
Okay. Resolution number 2019-02 is a resolution determining the need to capture tax increment revenues. Indiana law requires the commission to determine and provide notice to the county auditor, the city council, and officers of other taxing units that are wholly or partially located within allocation areas established by the commission, stating whether there is any excess assessed value that may be allocated to the respective taxing units, and if any, the amount of excess assessed value that the commission has determined may be allocated to the respective taxing units. The commission previously has established the allocation areas set forth in Exhibit A. The commission is required to make certain determinations relating to its need to capture TIF revenues for the following budget year. The city's financial advisors have conferred and advised the commission of the captured assessed value available or projected to be available. The amount of excess assessed value in each of the allocation areas is not expected to generate more than 200% of the amount of the allocated tax proceeds necessary for the purposes described under Indiana law. Therefore, be it resolved by the Lebanon Redevelopment Commission that the commission hereby determines that for budget year 2019, all of the incremental assessed value of taxable property in each of the allocation areas will be captured. The president or the secretary of the commission, pursuant to Indiana law, is hereby directed to provide written notice of the determination made herein to the Boone County, Indiana auditor, the common council of the city, and each taxing unit that is wholly or partially located within the allocation areas. The commission hereby approves the form of the letter of determination attached hereto as Exhibit B, and this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its adoption by the commission.
Are there any questions from the commissioners or the commission? Okay, I will entertain a motion to pass Resolution 2019-02, excess AV TIF increment determination.
So moved as presented?
Is there a second?
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. All right, next item is the facade request for 310 North Lebanon Street, and Derek is here to present for that location. Derek.
Good evening, Commission. Tonight, as you mentioned, Caleb, the applicant is 310 North Lebanon Street, owned by Richard and Karen Milam. I got to tell you, this has been a dream application to work on. They've been a pleasure. They've gone into great detail, providing all the estimates. Due diligence has been great. This is, an application that truly is a restoration project instead of just maintenance. So this is a dream application, in my opinion, for you all. The applicant
Just to
tonight-
clarify, you've been working with the wife, not the husband, right?
I will have to say that she seems to be the brains behind the
Well,
operation.
after that description, I would expect nothing less. Sorry to interrupt.
So tonight, I wanted to make it very clear, and I think hopefully you all had the opportunity to look at the information that I sent. And this property is being used commercially. So with the way the resolution is written, residential properties do not qualify. This is certainly that over the period of history has been a single-family home, but has not been used as such since at least the period the current tenant, the Milams, have owned the property since 2001.
Before that, it was a group home.
And it was a group home prior to that, so it's been some time. But nonetheless, on our grading scale for the district, it is even listed there as a commercial use. And they are taxed on a commercial use as well. So this checks all the boxes as far as the use. And just a side note on the grading scale, which is something that the Preservation Commission is going to look at. This property, the Preservation Commission is going to look at and possibly regrade several of the properties. Some of them are inappropriately graded on the high side. This property is not. This property is graded as notable, so it's the second from the top as far as importance to our district. So you have outstanding, notable, contributing, and then non-contributing. There's only a handful of outstandings and a handful of notables, and this is one of the notables. So this property has a huge impact on our district. The COA issued by the Preservation Commission, I can certainly go through all the bullet points if you wish, but it is a complete facade renovation. It is removing the old aluminum siding, which the applicant has already done, and that is not included in the reimbursement request. So the applicant has done a lot of preparation work to get to the point where they could get accurate estimates, and that had to include taking off the old aluminum siding that was up there to expose the original wood siding that's behind. So we were talking about the other day, it's kind of ironic that the aluminum siding that was put up actually did a pretty good job of preserving the original elements behind that aluminum siding. Some of the molding was taken down during that period when they put up the aluminum so that everything would fit right and not have to stick out in any weird way. But nonetheless, it's in actually very good shape for being covered up for so long. So it's, like I said, in general, it's a complete facade renovation, repairing all the siding, replacing windows that were taken out once upon a time with period correct windows, removing an old bay window that's currently in the home and replacing it with a period correct window as well. Fixing the sag in the foundation and the footer on the porch on the south of the property is a big element in this as well. The foundation has some issues going on there, and they're going to actually lift that back up, which in essence, lifts all the components above it up too. So it will make all the aesthetics of the property look original, for lack of a better term. The COA is, again, complete facade renovation. The estimate breakdown tonight that you have in front of you, two bids, one from USU Group LLC and one from Master Built Construction. The estimates on the left of that proposal are the cheaper of the estimates, and the estimates on the right are the more expensive. The lower of the two bids totals $74,600, which puts them in category 8 for estimated costs of improvements between $50,001 and $75,000. That puts them in the owner share of $26,000 and the maximum grant of $49,000. I'm happy to answer any other questions that came from the HPC meeting, although that was almost a year ago, which goes to show you the amount of information they've collected, the due diligence they have put in to get to this point. So it's taking them some time, and they've worked very hard at it.
I would like to make a statement and a question. I have noticed driving by that you have done quite a bit of work already so far, and it looks like there's evidence of insulation holes on the outside as well. Can you guys?
That's where the windows go.
Okay.
The windows are never replaced.
Could you step up to the mic, please?
Yeah, Caleb, are you referring to where they blew
Like in-
insulation? Yeah.
Re-insulated walls and
Yep,
stuff?
yep,
Okay.
yep.
You're talking about those holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come on,
Yeah.
Karen.
So I guess where I'm going with this is what other work have you guys done on the inside, or what preparation work have you done to get to this point, minus taking the aluminum down and just getting some of that ready?
He's put many hours in filling those holes.
Sure.
With taking dowel rods and having them cut and sanded and plugging and gluing, and just because he had to have something to do until we could really get the people here,
Sure.
to come in and do the rest.
Is the wood
Other-
siding going to stay, or
I'm
you
sorry?
said, it says new siding, restore the siding, so what, is that
No,
going to
no,
be
no. The
a,
aluminum siding
Is
is
gone.
all off.
Okay.
So that's all been taken off.
but the wood siding is staying and you're going to
Yes.
be restoring
We're
that?
That's the original wood siding.
Okay,
The holes were cut, I believe, when they put the aluminum siding on about 1975, and they blew insulation in,
sure,
and they just covered what's up. So
I see.
rather than risk removing parts of the wood siding, we were told you could repair the holes,
I see.
and it just turned out that, and it's popular, and I got popular dowel rods actually cut them, and it seems to work real well. And
Okay.
we're hoping that it'll be almost invisible once it's done. So it's tedious, but
Sure.
I think
Yeah.
that's what's been happening there.
And Derek noted that it's been a commercial lot for a while. Is there any chance in the future, 5, 10 years away, that it's still zoned residential and might sell for residential?
It's not
or-
residential. It's
Okay.
zoned commercial.
It is zone commercial,
Yes.
so it'd be quite the loophole to jump through to get it back to residential.
Yes.
Okay.
We have no intention of doing that. It's his office,
Okay,
and then we lease out an office upstairs, and then, once we can work a little bit more on the inside. Most of the inside's pretty good.
okay,
Some of it still needs a little bit of work, which is a whole different
sure.
topic, but
You're addressing curb appeal
we
on
have
this.
had a couple other people lease offices from there. So we're investing in trying to make it look good, so when you drive down the street, it looks nice.
Right,
So,
good.
Any other questions from the commissioners?
Nope.
Derek, could you summarize up for us again where we stand financially on this grant program, please?
Yep. Sorry, let me get to that real quick. I believe it's $138,000 left in the balance for,
I think you sent me $138,908.46.
correct, 138,908.46.
Thank you, sir.
And we're still well within our budget, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
For what was assigned, so.
Yep, yep,
This does not in any way impact on financials.
no.
And if I recall right, in the last meeting, you said that typically we're past the peak of the season for this because of the season of construction.
Yeah, we're getting there. August is usually about that date where it kind of falls off for
Sure.
the rest of the year. There are 2 applicants in July. This is by far a better quality application than the 2 coming. The other 2 are more or less maintenance applications.
Okay.
And not restoration projects. So,
Okay.
again, this is, in my opinion, this is a perfect candidate for, maximum amount.
Sure. Comments, questions?
I would
just-
simply add mine, I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
Sarah,
you go
please.
ahead
No,
first.
Go ahead, please.
Are you sure?
Yes, please.
I just like to say that I'm excited about what you guys are putting into the building. I think it's right on Lebanon Street. People are coming into our downtown, they're seeing that, and if this passes tonight, I'm just excited to see what the building will look like. I think it'll be a great addition to the city, so thank you for doing that.
Likewise, I was simply going to endorse, I think the efforts you've undertaken certainly deserve our financial support. You're extending northward the work that's been done downtown, and while you're preserving a quality building, you're also really adding to what would be the one of the higher traffic patterns we have in our community. So I applaud your effort. Even your self-help effort of cutting dowel rods is a step in the right direction. But yeah. Honestly, when we started to talk about the facade program and the RDC discussed what kind of projects we would look at, I again agree with you. This is the one that I think would come to mind as kind of the poster child. A solid community member doing great work in our community, has been for a long time, willing to put sweat equity as well as their own personal finance into this. So this type of initiative truly is what the facade grant was designed for, in my opinion. And I appreciate your efforts and applaud your work on that. Thank you very much.
And as I noted earlier, this is, the grading of this property is notable. When we regrade, the work will be done, and I have a good hunch that this will go up to the outstanding level. So this will be one of the higher graded buildings, one of the highest graded buildings in our district.
Excellent. Hearing no other comments or questions, I will entertain a motion to grant the Milems for 310 North Lebanon Street $49,000 for their work at 310 North Lebanon Street.
I'll make a motion that we approve the grant of $49,000 for the property located at 310 North Lebanon Street.
Do I hear a second?
I second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Hearing none, passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
guys.
Looking forward to seeing the final project.
Okay, next order of business are the claims. Everybody's received a copy of that claim information.
Make a motion, we pay the claims.
I will second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Hearing none, passes. And I believe that is the last item is adjourned. Motion to adjourn.
Just one moment, Mr. President, if I could. As a school superintendent, it's been a privilege, and I hopefully continue a privilege to serve on the Lebanon RDC. And there's been many times I'm questioned by both professional colleagues and community members as to why the TIF dollars, why, are we taking away from the schools and how's that hurt? And I want to simply say, as we've passed the resolution tonight, it's quite the opposite for us here in Lebanon. It's been my privilege, and our school corporation has benefited greatly from the partnership we have with the city, and the RDC, as we know, has contributed not only to personnel that's impacted literally hundreds of students, but also the buildings we have at our school. The Herman B. Wells was a huge contribution. So I simply want to say publicly, as the superintendent for a few more days of Lebanon Community Schools, the TIF issues that we have here in Lebanon are a complement. They simply add to our ability to lower our tax levy. If you were to compare our school tax levy to communities around us, not only in Boone County, but in Hamilton and Montgomery County, you would see without a question Lebanon Community Schools, their tax levy is as low by as much as 50%, and as some counties 200% below other communities. And yet we're still able to provide quality facilities. We're able to provide programs. So the use of TIF dollars in our community has gone not only to benefit the growth and the expansion of our community, but it's also benefited our school system in a way that through the AV acquisition that we have, through new development, new facilities that go up, the TIF situation here in Lebanon is quite complementary to Lebanon Community Schools. And I want to reiterate that. I know there's a number of folks that would say, well, it's just, you're letting tax dollars get away, right? You're giving somebody a benefit or giving somebody incentive. And indeed, what we're doing is simply expanding, in my opinion, the appeal of our community, and that attracts business. We're close, I hope, to attracting new residential housing, which is what we'll need here in our community to help continue to grow our school population enrollment. But I just want to say publicly how much, as school superintendent, I appreciate the work that the RDC does, how much I truly value the partnership we have with our community, and the contributions that the city has made to the school corporation really go tenfold beyond any tax dollars we might theoretically or misconceived from some individuals lose through the TIF process. I think it's very important that is understood. I can't speak for other communities. I simply speak for the one that's near and dear to me, which is ours. And so this process of expanding and continuing to look at how TIF and the RDC work hand in hand to develop our community simply complements our school system, and in my opinion, in no way is detrimental to any of the financial concerns that people may perceive come from this type of action.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. I'd like to really appreciate and say thanks for clarifying that for one, and then also congratulations on your retirement and a very successful career at Lebanon. I know there's a lot of people out there that do really appreciate what you have done for our community.
Thank you. It's
And
been my privilege.
We look forward to keeping you on the redevelopment to continue your wealth of wisdom. So,
Yeah.
any other comments? I hear a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Second.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Good meeting.